Hello, welcome. My name is Adam, and this is the Fighting Fantasy Digital Series, and this is part 2 of Sorcery. Sorcery. It's now early morning, and we have just woken up, and the birds are chirping, and the sun is shining, and we're gonna see what adventures we're going on now. So it says here, the second day of your journey begins in the morning cool. Still halfway between sleeping and waking, you feel the presence of your spirit, the camel, close nearby. Its form has changed since you left Analand, just as you have changed, but it is still walking beside you. In the temple, they taught you that a prayer to your spirit could heal disease, lift curses, even save you from certain death. But the spirits are not generous and decline to help often. I mean, spirits, what are you doing to me, mate? Yeah, let's ask the spirits. You can ask the spirits aid by using the pray button. Okay. Where's the pray? There we go. Give me some stamina. Your spirit is the camel. The camel is a creature of long legs and short sight, and he walks and walks without needing to see his destination on the horizon. A camel is self-sufficient and unflappable, but he rarely turns, not even when the sands beneath him give away. A prayer to your spirit will heal you, but after your prayer, your spirit will not hear you again for some time. Well, we do need some healing, so thank you very much for that. Your spirit has heard you. You'll receive no further help for some time. You're on your own. Cheers, spirits. Thanks for that, mates. Right then, let's walk on. You can feel yourself getting accustomed to the fetid air of these hills. You have now ascended several hundred feet and can expect to make excellent progress before the end of the day. As you crest the brow of a hill, you can see something that makes you stop in your tracks. Ooh. To your left is a clearing, and in the clearing are several poles planted firmly in the ground, and atop each pole is a head. Should we look at the heads? Let's look at the heads. That's one of the options here. The heads are of all kinds and ages. Some are recently fixed while others have decayed, and some are nothing but skulls and hair. I think what I'm going to do, guys, I'm just going to move this. There are human heads, goblin heads, and one or two heads of creatures you do not recognize. All have sewn-up eyes and mouths. A large X painted on a rock nearby is obviously intended as a warning not to venture any further. But ahead, the road forks left and right. You cannot be sure which path you are warned not to take. The right-hand path continues to climb, and the left-hand path winds down the side of the hill. So, should we take the left or should we climb? I'm gonna climb. So we're gonna go, but we're gonna go through the forest like that. Extra adventure for free. The climb continues up the next hill for several hours until you are not far from the top. Then the faint sound of bustling activity reaches you. Tramping feet, grunting voices, and the clanking of metal against rock. There is something ahead, hidden by the ancient trees that line the slopes. Right, so do we follow that sound, or do we keep to the path? What to do? I'm going to follow the sound because I'm an adventurer. You leave the path and continue cautiously through the woods, and a short distance onwards you hide behind a tree and survey a clearing. A number of goblins are in the clearing, working at their mouth of an open cave. They trudge in and out of the opening, carrying large bowls in their arms, piled up against with glistening rocks and dull metallic nuggets. Should we watch them work, leave them to it, or make a break for the cave entrance? Number of goblins. Let's watch them. You stay hidden, getting a sense of the scale of the operation. There are at least 30 goblins inside the cave, each coming out with every 5 minutes or so with a new pair of stones, or a new pail, sorry. Then there are other goblins working in the clearing with hammers, smashing the rocks into small pieces, extracting metals from inside, loading them into carts, and finally pushing the carts away down a wide track between the trees. Sounds like they've got a bit of a sweet operation going on here. It is quite some operation, but not without its weaknesses. There are too many goblins to create any kind of distraction, but they move away into the trees fairly often, and sometimes the cave is left unguarded. Shall we go into the cave, guys? Right, I want to try and slip inside the cave. You creep a little closer, moving around the side of the hill, nearer to the entrance to the cave. Then, when all is quiet, you seize your chance and race across the clearing to the mouth of the cave. Run for it! Into the mine! Get in the mine, dude. Man, them birds. What's going on? You pause a moment at the cave mouth, but no one has seen you. Following the passage cautiously, you move between the cool rock walls of the mine, passing and ignoring ladders that lead down into the clamoring heart of the mine, where 100 goblins sing as they work. Hi-ho! Eventually, you reach a junction and sip a cup of coffee. So we're actually in the mine now. We're not above on the land. So we're going to go left. You take the left passage. Passageway continues until you reach a large stone cut door blocking your way forwards. Shall we try the door handle? Yeah, go on. You try the door. It opens. The room beyond it is dirty with soot from the mines, so it could almost be a pit filled with night itself, with crystals in the rock for stars. In the far wall, you can just make out another door, leading deeper into the mine. But the middle of the room is a table at which a large, filthy goblin is sitting. He raises his head as you enter and smells the air. And perhaps he's almost blind from so long underground. Mate, you can't see through them eyeballs. Look at him. He's like, "Your smell is strange, intruder," he challenges. "You're not permitted here." "I choose my own way, mate," you growl. "Do you? Let me help you make your choice." The goblin rises to his feet. In his hand, he holds a large stone club. "Shall we cast a spell?" "Mate, let's cast a spell on his ass." "What should we cast?" "Zap." Let's zap his ass. We're going to create lightning. Cast it. It's like this, mate, isn't it? It's like the Emperor. Do it. That's what we're doing. You cast the spell, and a bolt of lightning shoots from your fingertip at the goblin. He reels backwards and hits the floor, quite dead. Oh, gosh. With the goblin defeated, there is nothing to stop you moving further onto the mine. But we're going to search this room first. Before you move on, you quickly scour the corners of the dark room in case there's any gold or weapons lying around. You find nothing until you search the goblin himself. He is wearing a silver key on a chain around his neck. You lift it away. Let's go. The next door will take you deeper into the mine. You can only hope there won't be a rockfall. That kind of makes it sound like there's gonna be one. You know what I mean? Here we go, further into the mine. Mate, I hope there's a way out of this mine. You open the door onto a pitch black passageway. We cast a fire spell. We're quite weak. I don't know. Let's just grope through the darkness and hope it doesn't, you know. You push it on into the depths of the mine. Dust falls from the low ceiling. Your hand moves over the precarious wooden beams that hold the walls from tumbling in. Then you stumble, foot catching a support. The support cracks. A piece of rock the size of your head tumbles through a gap in the ceiling, narrowly missing your skull. A rain of stone and dust follows. The ceiling is coming apart. Mate, we need to turn and run for the door? What door? There's no door. You mean back the way we came? Mate, we're going to push on ahead. Right, you are gripped by an insane idea, racing into the darkness of the unknown mine as the only exit is sealed off behind you. Mate, we got to press on now. Oh. Do it. Do it. The crashing shaft behind you lends you speed. Then, suddenly, you gasp as your foot fails to touch the ground below. I'm falling! You begin to drop. There can only be moments. We need to cast a spell. We need to cast a spell. What is that levitate one? Like lift this. Oh, mate. It doesn't tell us, does it? There's a floaty one. Is it? Foul. Oh. Float in the air. That was lucky. That was a total guess, that was. Right. Val, you cast the spell and your fall is broken instantly. You float gently to the ground below, landing softly on your knees. Thank good for that. So I guess we got to go to the base of the pit then, don't we? You pick yourself up and look around. You're at the base of a deep shaft. It's hard to be sure how far you've fallen, but the top is lost in darkness. Still, it's not pitch black down here. A chink of light penetrates from somewhere far away. A crack nearby? Or a tunnel mouth a long way off? You cannot tell. Let's get walking. Calmly and without delay, you start to walk towards the point of light. It gets larger, but slowly, and your hopes lift with every step. It's definitely a way out. You can see sky beyond. Your hands are running along the tunnel walls to keep you straight. Then the ceiling comes down, and you crawl for a few feet. Then you freeze. Your hand is resting on something furry? Yeah, let's draw my sword. Your first instinct is to reach for your sword, but crouched low in this tunnel, there is no space to wield it. It would get in your way. Well, we're going to have to creep past the thing or investigate it. I mean, it's wedged in within a wall. It can't be that bad, can it? You reach out with the thinking that whatever it is at least small. Exactly. Your grip closes on the thing, and it's not warm. That's a good sign. And it squashes easily, as if it's bones that had been turned to jelly. And you pull it close to yourself. And you realize you're actually holding a pair of fur boots. You laugh with a relief and quickly scramble the rest of the way along the tunnel to the sunlight. And it's an opening. Mate, we're definitely going to climb out of this pit. The climb out of the cave takes several hours, but it is worth every moment when you emerge into cool, fresh air once more. You have escaped with your life. Let's have a look at them boots that we grabbed. You turn the boots over in your hands and you recognize the fur. It is Boran skin. They will be very useful if you head through snowy climbs. Then it is time to get moving. You set off once more, looking for a path to get your bearings in the trees. It's in the trees. Further on. The path climbs up a low hill, covered over with thick bushes and shrubs that snag at your clothing. Halfway up you hear a sound. Twigs start breaking. Let's freeze. You freeze as a large creature the size of a bear emerges directly in front of you. It has black and white fur and a long bushy tail that trails out behind, and it growls menacingly. Do you know what? I've seen this thing. I can't remember what it's called, but I have seen it. It's like a little gizmo creature, isn't it? Mogwai. Let's edge around it. Let's not attack. Perhaps if you're careful, you can slip around it. Let's go to the left. Leaving the main trail, you slip through the shrubs around the creature. Its patch is clearly the square of dirt through which the path leads. It watches you to ensure you don't come too close, but it doesn't attack. After a few minutes of this, you are on the other side and are able to continue. The path leads down through another valley and back up another hill. 2 hours pass. I think if you do try and attack it, it's a real, killer of a creature. But it's like a teddy bear if you don't. Right, let's approach whatever this place is. I just feel like I'm moving through the story and not... Choices aren't that... They're not obviously that, you know, on the map anyway. The sun is now just past its zenith, and everywhere a dusty heat rises from the baked earth. You begin to think about where you will stay for the night. Another night sleeping out in the open would be best avoided, if we can. But then you see a small village, set into the hill. Let's have a look at it. Smoke rises from the stacks. The houses are well set, with stone at their bases and thatched roofs of grasses and thick leaves. There is unusually more than just one street running through the centre of town, but it is thou this place, once rich, has had its heart scooped away. Litter surrounds the buildings, and on the edge of the village are rows and rows of empty, abandoned houses. You continue your slow trudge along the path. I want to enter the village. You walk into the village. Young hill dwellers pass you and stare at your strange clothes. Hill dwellers. Let's look at these people. Their own attire is rough by comparison to your gear. They wear their hair long but piled up on their heads. These people are ghastly poor. The village is like a ghost town. Here on the knife edge of the backlands, mate. We're going to get robbed, I think. Let's spend some money here. So let's have a drink. Walking down the single road, you quickly find a hut with its front covering pulled wide open, and the smell of brewed beer coming from inside. You go in. Several hill dwellers are here, talking gruffly. When you enter, they watch you with an understandable caution. Mate, they all look like Vicky Pollards here. What's going on, mate? We turned into the house of the Pollard. The owner of the hut comes over to you. Welcome to Shamutanti, he declares. What do you want? Well, let's greet him. An evening's rest and a drink to... Oh, sorry. That's me talking. An evening's rest and drink to wet my throat, please, you reply. Ale is 1 gold piece, he answers. Please sit. You go over to the table where the hill dwellers are. Let's sit with the oldest dude because they're always wise. You turn your attention to the oldest man at the table. Whatever face he once had is lost in a labyrinth of wrinkles, and his skin is the color of tanned hide from a lifetime in the beating sun. Greetings, old man. He raises his mug in salute. Stranger. His face is grey, gravelly, like the dusty dirt that lines the streets of this town. Where are you from? It doesn't matter, does it, where I'm from? You telling me he doesn't, he agrees. Your accent is Analand, and so's your boots, your pack, your sword. He clicks his tongue in appreciation. Not many has crossed through the Cantapani gate in either direction, if you know what I'm saying. Mate, I ain't got a clue what you're saying, to be honest. It must be kept safe. You answer simply. From the likes of us too. They say there is a war coming. Something to do with the crown. You're going to say, not if I can help it, mates. Is that so? Replies the canny old man. Do you know what? I'm getting an uneasy feeling now. Well, seems like you should be drinking on the house tonight for the good of us all. Shanty, he calls the innkeeper over. I'll cover this man's ale. Oh, that's appreciated. Cheers, mate. You reply, raising your cup to him. You sip your beer. The old man exchanges glances with the younger man sitting opposite. What kind of glances, mate? Let's ask the old man about this area. Can you tell me something about this region, you ask? Shamutanti, certainly. I'll tell you that around here, we're always glad to help out strangers. We'll ply them with alcohol and get them pissed. What lies beyond this town, mate? Beyond Shamutanti, there are 2 paths, he says. One takes you past Alana's home, and you will need your wits about you if she's there. The other leads up the hills and Leaki, domain of the Great Ones. Either way you choose, I wish you the luck of Sindler on your journey. Well, you just say one, mate. You don't say left or right. Who is Sindler, mate? God of hopeless causes, the man replies and laughs. The crowd in the inn is starting to thin out, and you finish your beer in a single draught and get to your feet. You make to leave the inn. With a wave back to the old man who bought you your drink. You step outside. You look this way, you look that way, trying to decide what to do next when you realize the old man has joined you once more. Oh, yeah. Oh, aye. He grabs your shoulder and presses a fruit into your hand. Bomba, he declares through fermented breath. I grow them myself. Good for the stomach. He pats your belly and walks away, swaying slightly. Look at this fruit, man. You turn the old man's gift over in your hands. It is a thick, rinded fruit that keeps well and will be highly nourishing when you decide to eat it. Its only drawback is its incredible weight. It's so heavy. It is now evening and it's time to sleep. Hey, let's go to sleep, man. I'm knackered. Let's go to the inn now. You stop. I mean, I haven't even paid for my drinks. You stop a passerby and ask for an inn. They lead you there directly. The woman who runs the place stands in the door with her arms folded. Are you from the king? She demands. I am on a mission for the king, my love. Taxes, she replies quickly. No. The woman narrows her eyes at you. This is a guest house, the best in Shamutanti. Only guests stay, and any guest of mine knows it cost me 3 gold pieces to host a man overnight. What kind of hosting are you doing, love, there? And 2 to feed him. That's it, belly full and empty. But it's all between friends, so 5 gold pieces, right? Okay. I will need to eat first. Food is just being served. The woman steps aside and you go inside and sit down. A few minutes later, her husband appears with a steaming pot of skunk bear stew. Do you know what? This town doesn't sound so poor. It is thick as mud and has a rich, disgusting flavor. You wolf it down all the same and leave your coins on the table. Do you want a room as well? Thank you, yeah. The woman shows you the way upstairs to a room. There are 3 other guests already staying and asleep, so you settle quickly. The bed is not clean, but it is comfortable, and after the long day and all its narrow escapes, you are grateful beyond measure for the rest. Time for sleep. Your dreams are vivid once again. You are walking endlessly, the hills moving up and down under your feet like a rippling sea. Every step exhausts you, but no step moves you forwards. Meanwhile, your food in your bag is rotting, wet through from the sweat on your back. And in the distance, a deep voice is booming with laughter. The long, cruel fingers of one hand are curled around the metal frame of a crown, and with the other, he beckons you forward, as if into a trap. Come to me. There we go, guys. That's it. We're having a nice little sleep in the inn. We've had a drink. We've had some food. And now it's morning time. And that's it, really. And that's it for this episode. So join me next Sunday. What adventures we will have. And next Sunday will be the final one of 2019. So hopefully we will make it through beyond and continue this. Now, in early January, there's going to be a live read of Daggers of Darkness, okay? So that will replace one of these episodes, okay? So on that given Sunday, one of these episodes won't play, but these will continue to play every Sunday in between the live events. So every Sunday, you're still going to get Fighting Fantasy. You can say that to the bank. That's yours, okay? But once a month, you're going to get a live read of one of these books. We've just completed the Sorcery series. If you haven't already seen it, go check it out. They're really good fun. And we're making our way through the rest of the Fighting Fantasy. So there are 12 books we'll be reading this year, you know. And I want to thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, subscribe to my channel. You get all my videos. If you make that little bell ring in the corner, you will get notified when we go live. We can have a chat. And then, of course, you know, throw a like down if you like the video. All right? Thanks for watching. Take care. And I'll see you next Sunday. Bye.